Welcome back to Seriously Hilarious with Shonda and V. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us for another episode. This week, we're going to talk about the second chapter, your second chapter, the second chapter of your life.
Absolutely. Yes, because I do feel like a new person. Like there's like different versions of me, and I'm loving who I am now. How about you?
Yeah. I mean, it's a person. I don't know if I'm a new person, but I'm most definitely a different person than I was 20 years ago, right? Growth and all
I mean,
those
a
good things.
smarter person, more
Yes.
seasoned, more wisdom, maturity, all of those things.
Yeah, I would say so. I guess I'm a little flavorful. I like a good seasoning. I think a lot of people, a lot of women, men too, are just at this age. We are in our mid life or whatever.
30.
Women, right, 25. But women of a certain age, men of a certain age, you've lived a couple of lives at this point, from birth through 18, you were the
Mhm.
child, and then you became an adult, and then you may have had children, went to school, had a career, and now you're like, I can spend the next 20, 30 years doing something totally different. It's an opportunity to explore new things. So in this
Yes.
third chapter, really,
Mhm.
what kind of things do you want to explore? Like, where do you see your life going? Like, what type of life do you expect to have for the next 30 years
A
or
fun
so?
one. I'm gonna tell you, so a lot of the milestones that you talked about, I desired at one point in my life. I wanted to have, wanting to have kids, white picket fence, married, all of those different things, and I have had my taste of each, but nothing long term. So like, uh, hindsight, I realize I don't really need those things to have joy. What I need is, slow mornings, quiet. I need
Mhm.
to explore the world. I need to have great friendships. And so that's kind of like what I focus on now. I feel like at one point when I was 20, I was living for the world. I
Right.
was checking off other people's boxes, not necessarily my own. And now it's all about
Mhm.
me. So, I'm at the age of 40, and I just feel like 40 is when you say F it. You know what I mean? If I don't like it, F it.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
This has most definitely been my I'm done real quick era, right? Though I feel like my life has been like that a lot anyway. Even throughout my 20s and 30s, I'm like, oh, bye. I don't need to deal with this. But yeah, it's most definitely a time for starting anew, right? And just kind of
Mhm.
refiguring out yourself and where you want to be and where you want to go. Like even me, I have been working in real estate for a long time. And though I'm still figuring out new avenues of real estate to explore, I'm still trying to see if I want to explore other things. If I want
Mhm.
to embark on a whole different career, or just find me, a man who want to retire me, hey, and
No, say
live a
that.
nice soft life because soft living is amazing. I would love to live a nice, soft, worry-free life. Thanks. Thank you, fate, destiny. Hello, I'm here. I'm saying it out loud. But
Yeah.
even in the same vein of just taking care of myself as I have always done and being out here in the world, I would still give me the softest life possible. But I still would
Mhm.
like to do things that I've never done, explore different things. And though I haven't, had children or anything like that, I'm the best auntie,
Okay.
and auntieing is mothering too.
It
And
is.
I'm real good at giving advice to children. Don't do it. That's the best advice. Just don't do it.
Just
And
don't do it.
and then, you know, um, even outside of that, I may decide that I want to get married someday. It's
Mhm.
funny because I was literally thinking about marriage, and I was like, do I want to get married? And I feel like you want to get married when you meet the person you want to
Mhm.
marry. Like a lot
Yes.
of people have always felt like they wanted to be married, but you never really know until you meet that person that you want to marry. Because now you're like, oh, I can't even see my life without you, right? Or whatever the
Right.
case may be. Whereas now, living my single life, I'm like, I can really see myself married, right? However, I was thinking about that because I was talking to somebody about my crush that we mentioned in the last episode, Christian Gaze. But I was talking to them
Mm.
about it the other day at this event I went
You
to, and
talking to
I'm
Christian? Oh.
no, I wish, but I was talking to them about it, and we were talking about next chapters and things like that. Actually, because their kids are off in college and they're living a different empty nest type life, and
Mhm.
I was like, I would like to get married, but only when I would like to get married. Like, I would
Right.
love to get married when I would actually love to get married. Like when I
Right.
feel like you know that when you meet that person, because you're gonna meet that person, you're gonna change your mind about a lot of things. You're gonna be like, oh, I
Yes, but
never
I
thought.
do think that for someone as aware as you, right? You haven't been married before, but you know yourself, so you know what you're looking for, right? Whereas there are others of us, where we learn by doing and we learn what doesn't work. And I feel like that's half of the battle is knowing what you don't want. And I
Right.
know what I don't want.
Exactly.
And that kind of helps me filter out what I do want. And so I feel like I am more wise in all relationships now because I decide how I want to be treated and I demand that other people treat me that way,
Right.
those
Right.
ways. And so I feel like having been married before, which I don't really like to count, but I did it. You know what I mean? Um it was more so I didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
I was still looking for, what the storybook, the fairy
Right.
tale, but
Right.
that's not realistic. And so
Right.
now I know, okay, well, I want a partner that, I can build with, a partner who
Yeah.
I can, be have different levels of intimacy that
Mm-hmm.
are not just physical, because I'm a very mental person, as you know, right? I'm always in my head a lot, and so I need a partner who can recognize that and who can create a space for me where I will feel comfortable being more in my body, being more in the moment, and so I think, like you said, you want to be married when you want to be married. And that
Yeah.
win is huge, you
Yeah.
know.
It's a big question. It's a big win. And I feel like when you meet the right person, because it's not just like I'm a run into some guy halfway like, and just because we've been dating for 2 years we're gonna jump a broom. No. It's when you meet the person. You like, oh, that's the
Hmm.
person. That's it right there. I feel like something changes in you. A lot of times people become different versions of themselves, as when people get married. And you be like, girl, I didn't even know you
Hmm.
was like this. You be like, girl, he brought it out in me, or she brought it out in me. Like,
Yeah,
even
that's beautiful.
my brother got married. We was like, what? Because we never thought, like, knowing him, we never thought. But sometimes people just bring that out in you. They'll bring, like, your mate will bring the wife out in you, right? Or bring the husband out in you, bring the father out in you, right? Having kids bring fathers out in men. Like, you see men who don't have kids, and then 5 years later they have a baby. They be like, I'm a dad now. I got to do.
Okay, but on that
It
note,
changes.
right? On that note, I think it's also important to mention timing,
Yeah,
because I know that you can be the perfect woman in the wrong relationship at the
that's
wrong
true.
time.
That's
So
true.
it's funny. I just saw a reel where this father of three adult children, adult daughters, was admitting that he didn't know what he was doing when he was younger. He created 3 single mothers, and he thought that
Mhm.
that was the thing to do. He was like, I didn't
Right.
invest into these women. I didn't invest into these families. So I created 3 broken families. And he said, and now that I know better and am trying to do better, I am the catalyst. I'm the problem. So each of my daughters who one of them has 4 baby daddies and she's still single. The other one, he says she's like 21 and she didn't had 3 or 4 abortions already. She like, you ain't about to trap me. You know what I mean? So
Right.
they saw the worst of it and they're responding to the worst of him. So now that he is in a better space and a better mindset and sees the error in his ways, they're not open to it. And so
Mhm.
he sees that they are just recreating the pain that he caused their moms in their lives.
Oh yeah,
But
it's most
now,
definitely it's a trauma response. Oh yeah.
yeah, so that's why I'm saying like timing. And then some men, they have to be ready, right?
Yeah.
So women tend to be more willing earlier in life, more mature in certain aspects,
Yeah.
and ready for parenthood, marriage, and willing to do the work in most cases, right? Whereas men, they really need to explore and would you say sow their royal oats. And then when they are settled in their mind, in their career, then they're ready to get married. They may still venture out a little bit, but for the most part, they will be ready for that commitment. So I think that we have to admit that timing is important. And I did have a question for you.
Okay, but real quick. So timing is
Uh-huh.
important, but I also feel like when all of those things align, it will change you, right? So that you
Yes.
can be the best person in that situation. Nobody said perfection. It just
Mm-hmm.
changes you to arrive up on time and do the work, right? And nothing's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be perfect because obviously if you've never been a parent before, how you know how to be a parent, right? Trial and error. However, even being
Mm-hmm.
married, marriage is trial and error. Like you gotta work at it because it's like I ain't never been married before. I've never been a wife, I've never been a husband, whatever the case may be. You trial and error. Like let's talk about it, make it happen. But that's why
Mm-hmm.
communication is at the forefront of any relationship. Even parent child relationships. They should be communicated
Mm-hmm.
so that everybody understands what's going on, what are boundaries, what's happening, what are we doing, what is our goal for our child, what's happening throughout the whole entire relationship. It should never be to the point like a lot of parents and children are always like, oh, I can't talk to my dad about that, or I can't talk. Your kids should be able to talk to you about anything. You should have an open door policy. But anyways, we're getting way off topic. But go ahead. You said you had a question for me. Sorry.
Well, it kind of ties in because each of everything that you mentioned sounds like you're talking about boundaries, right? So once you set those boundaries, then you have clarity as far as the way you want to be treated, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to accept, and what you're not. And then you mentioned friendships and the qualities that you are looking for versus those that you're not. So you're right on topic. So my first question for you is if you had to pinpoint a moment, a realization in your 40s that
I'm
fundamentally
25.
changed. Are you 45? You
I'm
45 or you
25.
25?
I'm
Oh,
25.
okay. Okay. So do you know anyone of that age who, where they had this turning point where they, you know, were able to realize um and make these adjustments? Like where you can identify where you made the biggest change.
Um, you know, I feel like it was a gradual thing. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
anything in my life was just like set by any particular event or thing in my life. Well, I'll say as an adult, not as a child, but as an
Mm-hmm.
adult. I think things happened gradually over time because as I began to learn myself and what type of person I want to be. And then, you reevaluate your relationships that you have, you let some go, you get new ones, whatever the case may be. And I think it's just a gradual thing. Even today, I was talking to somebody earlier, and I was like, I feel like right now I may be on the verge of a minor reset in some aspects of my life, right? And
Mhm.
I'm trying to see exactly where I want to go with them because life be life and things are going on in the world.
Mhm.
And then you kind of we're all time travelers, right? We're
Mhm.
in the present trying to look at our futures, right? So
Mhm.
you're living in the present trying to model what you want your future to be, trying to figure out, trying to do the things you need to do so that your future can be realized the way you see it in your mind, right? So
Mhm.
I am in that space right now, with several things that's going on in my life, and even with relationships and relationships, good relationships, bad relationships, whatever. Just so the next 25, 30 years are as amazing as they could possibly be. Like, take
Mhm.
out some strife, take out things that are not doing you well or not causing you happiness, just and introduce new things that will do that for you, will give you what you need, what you want, all that good stuff. And that's kind of where I am. And I think that's what a lot of people probably need to reassess. I usually try and
Mhm.
reassess mentally on a yearly basis anyway. I tend to clean out all my clothes, reassess what I'm doing in my life, what's going on in the world. But, sometimes, you have to sit down and really just think. But like I said, I think it's gradual because it's not like I just be like, ooh, click and things are just done. It usually happens over the time, maybe over a year, maybe over 5 years, maybe over 3 years. But I have a vision for what I'm looking to accomplish, and then I just kind of go for it. What about you? You have a moment in time or anything that kind
Actually,
of
yeah, I do. I'm gonna tell you, like you said, nothing is like we don't have epiphanies, right? It's a series of events that happen, and then one day they just all make sense. One day you
right?
are ready to hear them. Um, so for me, I when the in 2020 I was isolated, right? And I didn't have to worry about all of the things, all of the hats, all of the labels, right? It was just me, my
Mm-hmm.
home, working from home. Um, and I had a chance to get to know myself and actually filter out what the ways that I was pleasing others versus the
Mm-hmm.
way that I was treating myself. And I just felt like I just became somebody so much greater during that time. And gradually, having that focus, having that center, I was able to say how I moved was basically instead of, oh, I'm going to do this because I know this person needs help, or guilting myself into doing things to be a people pleaser because it was comfortable, it was in my comfort zone. I didn't have to worry about that. And so then I had the filter of, because I love myself, and then have an action behind that statement. And that just kind of helped me shift and recalibrate into
Mm-hmm.
considering myself and living for me. I think a lot of times when we are, I have friends that are parents, and I'm a daughter, I have aging parents. I'm the eldest sister, all of those roles, I'm the eldest grandchild. So, you have different responsibilities that are kind of expected of you, and you just kind of find yourself just moving without being conscious. You just, and so I feel like that because we all had to sit down, that gave me time to actually meet me and just start doing what I needed to do in consideration of myself.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, yeah. You got to do what you got to do for you, because you first. You got to make sure you are happy. You are loved, you are cared for. Because if you don't self-care, nobody's gonna self-care for you. Tell you that.
Right. And then everybody else can get the overflow and then it's all good, right?
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
and so
feel
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I saw this the other day. I'm sorry. I saw this the other day.
mhm,
Somebody said, feel. So I forgot exactly the context in what he said, but I've heard this before, but said in different ways. But he said, I'm totally okay with filling my cup first and letting everybody else
mhm.
get the overflow. And that's kind of how you got to do. You got to fill your cup first because
You
you
have
have to
to.
you have to participate in your own rescue. Everybody needs to participate in their own rescue. I can only save you
Yes.
if you want to be saved. Are you helping to save
Yes.
yourself?
And that was something else. That just that statement right there was something else that I had to realize, right, in my world, is that I was out here distracting myself with other people and calling it saving them, you know.
Yeah,
And that's your story. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like, I need to focus on my book, my chapter, my legacy over here, you
exactly,
know. So
exactly.
if I can give myself the grace and room for that, I can give it to you too. I can
Right.
extend you that same grace. You know what I mean? So it's all with how you treat yourself first, and then it becomes how you treat other people. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very, very true. It's
Mhm.
crazy, and just to kind of bring it all back, as we are entering these, this different chapter in our lives, you want to make sure that self-care is on the forefront. I know a lot of
Mhm.
people, always have what they call those New Year's resolutions that they do, and they have
Mhm.
these ideas about how they want to change themselves this year, even if it's just reading a book a month or whatever you decide you want to do
Mhm.
for the year. Go to the gym. I don't know, be more social, be more recluse, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's your life. But a lot of
Mhm.
people get into the year and then by month 3, they're not doing whatever they said they were gonna do. They're like, it's
And
out.
that's why you have to have that center focus, and that's why I like that sentence, because, and I was trying to tell my aunt that too, because I have a family of people pleasers, you know what I mean, strong women, you know, and it's absent fathers in a lot of situations, and so they overgive, they overlove, to make up for that absent person, you know, and then they get
Mhm.
caught up in that, and then they're at an age where they should have transitioned through the empty nest and all of that, but they don't really know how, you know. So I
Mhm.
told my aunt, I said, say this to yourself before you act, because I love myself, and then proceed. You're not going to say, because I love myself, I'm about to endure this job. Because I love myself, I'm about to give you my last dime. You're not going to do none of that, because that's not loving yourself.
Right.
So, and I think that kind of helped me keep that focus beyond those, you know, that habit, just building that habit. Because what it takes, what, 21 days to form a habit?
To
And
make or
like you
break a
said,
habit.
by
Yeah.
the middle of January, people is back to the program.
Yeah, I mean, I would say by March for sure. But
Yeah,
either
especially with the
way,
gym.
it's like if you are, trying to make a, permanent change, so I don't do New Year's resolution. If I decide I'm going to do something, I just do it. I just like, well, I'm just doing
Mm-hmm.
it. It can be in January, June, July, August, whenever. Because it's just something I put in my mind that I'm going to do. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just make it happen, and I think people have to start thinking about change as an ongoing thing and not something that just
Mm-hmm.
happens on
The
January 1st.
lifestyle.
Because even if you stop, even if you said, oh, I'm going to read one book a month, but you skipped April and May because life be life and then things happen and you was tired. I mean, whatever. Okay, but just pick
Mm-hmm.
it back up in June.
Pick it back up.
Don't just not
Right.
do it at all because you decide, you got tired for a couple of months. when you find that you have the opportunity and the time and your eyes is working, mine is not. By all means, read the book. Let me tell y'all, I tried to read today. I was like, okay, Venus, let's finish this book because I've been reading this book for a minute. And I wanted to finish it. And I swear all those words were one word. And everything was just molded together. And I was like, I'm rubbing my eyes, I'm blinking, I took my glasses off, I cleaned them, and the words were still not wording like they were supposed to be wording. So I just stopped reading the book. I was like, I will try again. I even turned my reading lamp on. It was broad
Friend, get
daylight.
you
I
an
turned my reading lamp.
audiobook.
I still
Get
couldn't do
you
it.
an
I don't like
audiobook.
audiobooks. I like to read stuff in my own voice, in my own head. Plus, I'm an immersive reader, just like I'm an immersive movie watcher.
Yeah, I didn't see you
So
watch TV.
I be giving everybody their own voices in my head. Everybody is a character in the
Mhm.
book. It's a whole thing. That way, when I tell people about a book, I could tell you about the book. I'm like, man, let me tell you about this girl in the book. She was, it's I'm they're people.
Mhm.
They're real people in the world for me when I'm reading a book. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
can't just listen to random people read books. That's weird. I don't know. I wouldn't feel engrossed or enthralled, or I wouldn't feel any connection to it. And I'm not like that. And it's a sci-fi book too.
Yeah.
So I'm reading it. I'm like, ah. But anyways, but my eyes apparently. So, but that's neither here nor there. But yes, I would say, just try and pick stuff back up. So, I mean, as you move through, this next chapter in your life, and this is just my advice, by means, do what works for you. But as you start new stuff, and life be life, and just, if you have to put it down, just make sure you pick it back up because that's something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Don't let three,
I,
4 years go by and be like, crap, I still ain't read them three books like in 3, 4
right.
years.
But I
You
what
know?
I hear you saying is that, it's important to redefine what success looks like.
Yes,
Because success
exactly.
could be just picking that book back up. Like, let me tell you what success looked like for me recently. Okay. So I woke up and I'm about to go to my spin class. I love a spin class, right? And I pushed the start. And then I went outside and it wasn't started. And I'm like, why you not started? So I went and I pushed the button and she was and I'm like, why is my car coughing? Like, my car don't cough. Like, who and what? Girl, my car would not start. Okay. Now, old Shonda would have been like crashing out, like, oh my God, no, this new Shonda, this new me was like, let's get out the manual. Let's look at this. Let's just recount what could have been the problem.
I would have been
Like,
like,
I'm
I guess
talking to
I'm not going
myself
to
like
spin
this in
class.
my head. I was like, you know what? We will miss the spin class today, but we
I,
will not miss anything else. And girl, I went through step by step and it ended up being my battery, and I went over there and I got all of that stuff situated, and my success moment was because old Shonda would have got that situated, but I would have crashed out first. I did not crash out, and so I am celebrating the fact that I got to skip that emotional roller coaster, and girl, why that night, it God was teaching me that day, or the universe, whoever you want to see, was teaching me that day. I was learning. I was being learned. I go into my bathroom, which I use daily, and girl, go to flush the toilet, and the toilet it did not flush. And I'm like,
nothing was working, huh?
right. So you know what I did? I used another bathroom because I have more than one. So I said, gratitude for multiple bathrooms in my home.
Right,
Right?
right.
And then the next day I just went and got the tools and I fixed my toilet myself because who run the world? Girls.
Girl,
Okay.
right.
So
Oh,
those are just two very small examples of success. And it's not about what happened, it's the way I responded to it.
yep. It's always about your reaction, but that is very true. So I was telling you earlier that there was a leak in the condo next to me. So they had to go through my bathroom wall to fix it or whatever. And they told me yesterday, they was like, hey, can you not use your bathroom sink in this room because every time you use it, it dumps water into the other condo unit. And I was like, that ain't my problem. But I was like, okay, whatever. I have another sink. It's okay. But I mean, because obviously, I'm trying to be a good neighbor. So I was like, okay, no
Mhm.
worries. It is what it is.
Like a good
So
neighbor.
it's it's habit. You go to the bathroom, you wash your hands. So it was habit. So I was like,
Mhm.
crap, I'm gonna turn that sink on. I just know I'm gonna do it. But in my mind, I was like, Venus, don't do it. So I put
Mhm.
stuff in the sink to remind me not to
Okay.
use the sink. Because obviously you can't just run water in the sink with stuff in it. So I was like, duh, Venus, you're not supposed to use the sink. And I was so glad I did because that water almost got turned on like 4 times. I was like, and they didn't even come to like late this after. So they came, and the girl whose condo it got the leak in it, like her floors and everything messed up. I was like, "Whoo,
Oh
glad it ain't me.
wow.
Glad it ain't me." But anyways, she wasn't even here when the plumber people came. I was like, and they
Oh
was like, so
wow.
I was like, well, I'm gonna go to the store. I'll be back in like 10 minutes because Kroger right there. So I was like, I'll be right
Mhm.
back. They was like, okay, you're fine because she's not there. I was like, cool. So I runs to they was like, no, before I left, they were like, the office said we're gonna give her 10 more minutes. If she doesn't show up, they're out. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna use my thing then because apparently she didn't want to get her stuff fixed. But anyways, I go to the store. I was gone for more than 10 minutes because I was like, oh, let me wash my car because a bird had crapped on it. So I was like, ran into the car wash.
Mhm.
Anyways, I come back and they're taking all their pipes and stuff out of the truck or whatever. I'm like, oh, I guess we're doing this now. So not only did they start late in the afternoon, it was like gonna take 4 or 5 hours to fix it. I'm like, oh my God, why?
Oh wow.
Why are y'all doing this to my life? And so for the whole time, so now mind you, this whole time, is off. Nobody has water in the whole building I live in. And I was just like, oh my
Mhm.
God. So I kept trying to do stuff because again, I was like, well, I can clean up, I can wash, I can do whatever.
Mhm.
So I had already started my dishwasher earlier when the water was still on. But it was still
Mhm.
going, obviously, and then they turn the water off, and then I hear these weird beeps, and I'm like, "Crap, the
Uh,
water's off." I was like, "Crap." It
mhm.
bothered
In the
me to
middle of
no
your
end.
cycle.
Right, it
Mhm.
ruined it because it came up with like error beeps, and I was like, "This is not it." But anyways,
Mhm.
I said all that to say, life be lifing, things be happening,
Yeah.
and it's all about how you react because when it happened, I was
Yeah.
like, darn. And then I sat down. I was like, because what I'm going to do? The water is off. It was absolutely
Right.
nothing I could
So
do.
you
But
have to
then
be adaptable.
I just
Mhm.
stopped cleaning up because I'm like, I need the water. I was like trying to turn stuff on. And I'm just grateful I didn't have to use the bathroom because I'm like, ain't no water
Right.
here. I was like, thank you for not letting me
Right.
have because like even though I have another bathroom, it still is no water in there either. So what's
Right.
going on? But yeah.
Right.
But it was I just sat down, I was like, well, I guess I'm watching a movie till they get the water turned back on. So eventually but good things happen because guess what I got out of the deal? All new pipes in the bathroom.
I know that's right, girl.
Brand spanking new pipe. Them,
You see what it just serves you right to be adaptable and patient, and
Them
yes,
pipes piping,
you did
girl.
not
They is
crash out.
piping. New
Hmm.
knobs, new all of that. Everything shiny under there.
Okay.
They was like, so the plumbers was trying to be funny, talking, your guts is new, girl. I'm like, so they was like the association, our condo association is paying for it because it got to do
Hmm.
with the main water pipe or whatever. I was like, well, let's go ahead, break this mirror and give me a whole new cabinet. Like we could just say you deemed it. We should just say you
I bet you had them busted up
I
while
had
they
them
was there
cracking up.
too.
They was like, it's better to have new guts because ain't no point in having a fancy outside and the inside jacked up. I'm like, nah, I want a fancy outside and a new inside because you had to do the inside because it's gonna be a water beat. But anyway,
Right.
it was
But
hilarious.
they right though, and okay. So I have another question for you on that note. On that note, okay. So as a woman of a certain age, right? Health and
25.
wellness. 25, right? When your
Yep.
car insurance used to go down because it don't go down no more.
Right.
But Right. So, but that frontal lobe is, it's grown, it's developed. So, good
Mhm.
job, ding ding. Um, what is the biggest lesson that your body has taught you about health, fitness, and nourishment at this age? And how has your approach to movement changed?
Um, um, I will say this. I find myself my joints and muscles are like, don't do it, be easy. So
Uh-huh.
I used to run and jog. There, my joints and muscles like, no, you can walk though.
Mm-hmm.
So I can walk.
You
I
can
can walk
walk.
20 miles,
Mm-hmm.
but my running, and I tried to jog the other day. I was like, okay, then just do like a 10-minute jog. You don't have to do a lot. And 5 minutes in, my body was like, girl, if you don't stop, these feet is gonna give out. Like my ankle joints was like, no, don't do it.
Right. Well,
So, and
one thing that
I
I'm
was just
sorry,
gonna
I just
say,
wanted to make you feel better is that I found out that walking is more effective than running
it
anyway for fat loss. So,
it is, but I was
walk, honey.
aiming for endurance. So I wanted to be
Oh,
able to
okay.
just at least run a mile or two, right? Which I can still run
Mm-hmm.
it. It just I'm gonna
Yeah.
suffer. I'm gonna suffer in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had actually stopped running a couple months ago because my ankles was like, no, no, I don't think we should
Mm-hmm.
be doing this. But it'll let me walk all day. I can walk all day.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say you really your when your body talks, just listen,
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
that's probably like the biggest lesson I've learned. Like even if you're craving something, like sometimes like I don't really eat nuts and stuff. But sometimes I'll get some cashews and pistachios and go to town for like a week. And then after that, I won't eat them for 6 months. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
it just depends. Like your body will literally tell you what it needs and what it wants. And you just have to listen.
Yeah.
If you're listening, and plus I'm a picky eater anyway, so I don't eat a lot of stuff. So my body probably is
Mm-hmm.
deficient in a whole lot of the minerals and proteins and whatnot it's supposed to be getting, but I'll be like, I'm not eating it. Now I will throw a lot of stuff in a smoothie. I'm like, let me just because I should probably have those minerals and vitamins. Let me
Mm-hmm.
just throw it in the smoothie with some pineapple. Then you can't taste nothing but the pineapple, so it works out. Um,
Right.
so like I feel like yeah, my biggest takeaway from being a woman of a certain age is
Mm-hmm.
probably just getting to a place in my life where I'm really truly tuned in to my body.
Yeah.
Even though I do ignore it sometimes. I'm like, we finna eat this cake. But
And you
but
always just trying to make me eat it with you.
girl, that cake be good though, no regrets,
And I do. It is.
because it's amazing.
Well, we
But
get the best cake, so we gonna do it. We gonna
exactly.
get the best calories.
I ain't
We're
gonna
not
just be
just
eating
gonna
no
get them over.
raggedy cake. I
Right.
ain't eating no raggedy
Right.
cake. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but even saying
Mm-hmm.
all of that, so even though I do ignore it sometimes, I do find myself being more in tune with what I need. So even as I'm
Mm-hmm.
walking through the grocery, so I'm not one of those people who buy a lot of food at one time because it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to the
Right.
store 3 times a week. That's perfectly fine for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just no point in having a whole bunch of food here and it's gonna go bad because I may not want that
Right.
tomorrow. So,
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'll go and I'll get stuff for maybe a couple days or for a meal prep or whatever I'm doing in the kitchen. And so even today I was at the store, and sometimes when you're at the store, you'll
Mm-hmm.
start smelling stuff and your body be like, you need to
Mm-hmm.
get that. Now, I'm not a big on eating oranges, right? Not really.
Uh-huh.
But I was walking, I got me some spinach. I'm walking through the vegetable fruit section and I smelled some oranges. And my body's like, Venus, get them oranges. And I was like, you know what? You right, I ain't had oranges in a minute. So I got me a bag of oranges. I'll tell you offline what the oranges, different story about the oranges. I meant to tell you earlier, but it's okay. I won't tell these people all my business. But anyway, but yeah, so I got the oranges and then I went to go get me some eggs, even though I don't like eggs. But I was like, I need to get some other protein since I don't eat a lot
Some
of meat.
protein.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't eat a lot of meat, so I was like, okay, I went to get some eggs. And I walked out of the store maybe 6 things because I didn't get a lot of stuff. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this worked, but I got a whole bag of oranges. So, like I said, just going back to listening to your body, and sometimes even if you don't know, if you walk through the aisles of the store, your body will be like, hey, you should probably pick that cantaloupe up. Eat that watermelon. If you're
Yeah.
really listening,
But
get
see,
some of
you're
that
walking
meat.
in the right aisles of the store.
Yeah, because I don't go down them
Because it
boxes
don't say
and
you
shit.
pick up them Doritos.
No, right. It don't say that.
Like my
Now,
body will tell me.
right.
And I'd be like, I'm not gonna get a Dorito,
Now,
but I will get a tortilla chip.
now
Mm.
I will get ice
Mm-hmm.
cream. I will get some ice cream. But like I said, that's me ignoring because my body is really like Venus. You don't need that sugar. But I'm like,
Right.
yes, I do. Yes, I do. But
Mm-hmm.
even
I
if I eat
deserve it.
even if you eat it, as long as you're not eating it every day, because too much of anything is bad for you. Too much of, and even drinking too much water can be hazardous to your health. Too much of
Yeah.
everything in moderation. You want to drink and eat the appropriate amounts of the things you're supposed to drink and eat, basically. So
Yeah.
yes,
So you see this right here. I just wanted this is not a soda. This is seltzer. And this is something I could not drink last year. Okay. But like you said, when you eat too much of something and you are in tune with your body, you know when you are the consequences. And so this right here can help me with excess gas that you have. And I also like a nice tea after I eat. So
love a
I
tea.
agree with you that when your body is talking to you, whether it's exercise or digestion, you have to listen,
Even
especially when you are of a certain age.
even your skin. Like if you just
Oh yeah, girl, you
all of a
still
sudden
alive?
start all of a sudden start having skin issues. If you're all of a sudden, like if you was born, like, but even then, like even if you've always had skin issues, right? Nine
Uh
times
huh.
out of 10, it's something you're eating. You may not
Right.
know you're allergic to something, but you're allergic to it. It could be something that you absolutely love. Now, some people like, screw it, I'm gonna eat the cake anime. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
hey, but then you're gonna get the bumps and lumps and whatever else skin irritations on your face. But even as we age and our hormones, especially women, our hormones change and things happen,
Mm-hmm.
and your body is more susceptible to certain things than it was before. But if you notice a change in the way your skin reacts to certain things, or after you eat, or if your tongue is itching, or whatever, you need to reevaluate your diet, right?
Right.
Or go and get, even if you have been tested for allergies before, go get tested again because things change
Right.
over
Things
time.
change. Uh
Don't
huh.
just assume that you're not allergic. Um,
Yes. Like, did you know that um there are chemicals in weave? And so now I see women
you mean weave like this
online,
weave, like hair
like
weave?
hair weave. Yes, hair
Okay.
weave. So I see
Well, this
women
ain't weave,
online
y'all.
where
This uh
they are like washing their weave before they wear it. And remember back in the day, they had Kanekalon and all kind of stuff, and they would just put that in your hair. And remember when they used to burn the ends. Now I'm really showing y'all age. But
right.
When I used to burn the ends of your braids and stuff, that used to irritate my skin. And then wigs, that used to irritate my skin. And I used to, girls used to head on me and be like, "Oh, you think you better because you don't want to wear no wig or you don't want to wear no wig." No, there's something about it that's making me itchy. And now, years and years and years later, it comes out that I was right. And y'all
Right.
was just suffering in silence because you wanted to be cute and
Right.
wear those tracks. But yes, it is stuff in there that it's cancerous, and it causes inflammation. Just causes acne. And then the same with pain, though. You see so many people push through pain or medicate their pain instead of trying to figure out what is the source of it. You know, what is it that I need to change? I keep having these headaches, not me personally, but I know somebody who just keeps having headaches and they just like taking Tylenol. No, 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 no. Is it stress? Is it
Right.
your diet? Is it sleep? Sleep is a whole nother thing too. You know,
Mhm.
like, so yeah, I think the experience, right, over the years has made you more aware of the way your body responds to external factors.
Right, right, exactly. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
as we enter all of these chapters, your external factors, you know what? Let's just talk about it, ladies. Let's talk about it real quick. So I even have heard women say that after they turned a certain age, their orgasms got more powerful. Like it was
Oh, hell yeah.
totally different. It became just such an amazing thing. And then a lot of it was really just because they felt like they were more in tune with themselves as adult women.
Absolutely.
As you grown women, right? You're just you know what you like, you know what you don't like, you're just more in tune.
Mm-hmm.
And your whole sex life is amazing. That's why women sex time, the best sex time is in their 40s because that's when their sexual peak hits, right? And
Yep.
men's sexual peak
Mm-hmm.
hits in their 20s. That's why it's like natural for women to be cougars, right? Because, you know, I'm on the road to cougarism, but
Oh
it's
my
very
God.
natural for them to be cougars. Whereas, you know, men hit their sexual peak in their 20s or whatever. And women is not even feeling them. They're like, yeah, okay, that's nice for you. You like to have sex
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But it's not a big thing for us at that time. But in our 40s, it's a big thing. It's like, yeah, sex all the time. Yes, that's what we need to be trying to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, single life don't afford you those opportunities unless you just want to be out in these streets.
Girl, that's why people
It's
have the
too many
gadgets,
cars in these streets. I don't
okay?
want to get hit, so I stay in the house. But
Yeah.
it's just think about that and be more in tune with what's going on in all aspects of your life, right? In your sex life, your personal life, your work life, and your relationships with people. Just reevaluate and retune and rethink about what's happening and how people make you feel or not feel and things like that. And you can set yourself up for a very pleasurable experience on a daily basis within all aspects of
Mm-hmm.
your life, right? Just a
Yeah.
thought, just a thought. Just figure I'd throw that out there. Because who doesn't want a better orgasm? I mean, I'm just saying.
Exactly. But I think it all goes hand in hand, right? Because you in tune with your body, you in tune with yourself, you learn how to say no, you learn how to speak up in the bedroom. Not that, this. Go there. Not over there. You know what I mean? You can give
But if
direction.
I'm giving direction, because that's part of the problem, though. I feel like for women, the best time, and I was actually just talking to somebody about this the other day. Oh my God, who was I talking to? But it was a woman over 40 something ish. The best time you have your is when you are relaxed. Like he needs to know what
Right.
he's doing. But for
See,
the
there
woman
you
needs
go.
to
There you
the
go.
the woman needs to get out of her head, right? So someone said on some podcast, I forgot who I was listening to, some famous chick, but she was like, you find more satisfaction when you're not trying to perform. You're not young
Right.
anymore. Your
When you're by
body's not
yourself.
no, not
Hmm.
by yourself. I mean
Some of
with a partner.
my greatest orgasms is when I'm by myself because I don't have to worry about you. Like, I think that's because, like I said, I know what I'm looking for in a relationship, and because I haven't found it, what I just focus on what I can control, and what I can control is me. You know what I mean? So
I
I know how to please myself, and I know how to get myself in a calm space where I can just, explore.
okay, but we talking about people in relationships. So
We
if
was
you're
not. We was talking about orgasms, and it's an
right,
orgasm either
in
way.
relationships or people who got men to have orgasms. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Some
But
men ain't never gave
relate.
a woman an orgasm. her
The
poor
lady was
soul.
saying though that you're just more in a in tune space mentally. And because of that, you're able to really relax and enjoy the pleasure being given to you. And you just have a better orgasm. It was a very interesting conversation.
When
So
I meet him, there will be signs.
I mean, I would hope so. Like fireworks in the sky, that's the sign.
You were like, Shonda, why do you only speak in a whisper?
You
Why
so
don't I
funny.
ever see you?
Be like, girl, let me tell you what he did to me last night.
Why don't you ever say I anymore? You only use we.
You
We'll
is
be
crazy.
there. We
You is
not come.
absolutely crazy. But I mean, it, I mean, whatever works for you and your guy. And I mean, but I will say this: you're getting practice. You at least know yourself enough. But I
I
also feel
know
like
myself.
adult men should have a nice, good grasp. I'm not saying they're going to know that person, obviously, because they never had sex with that person. However, they should have a nice grasp of the female anatomy. Now, if you
That's it.
45, 50 years old and you still don't know bub kiss, that sounds like a personal problem.
It
Everybody,
depends. Again, you're not talking to the masses. First of all, some of these men have been married for forever, and they may still have sex like they did in high school. Bam, 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 and they got this little docile, just gentle wife, and she'd be like, "I just let him do his business." Right? So they may not actually have the desire or be willing to explore a female body, right? Because they didn't been with that same woman and it's just an act, right? And then you could have a guy who does know how to do one or two things, right? But maybe he's not open to intimacy where he's able to create an environment where any woman can, you know what I mean, in his presence. So I feel like you have to take control of your own things,
I
and
mean,
for me that was very liberating. Like I don't need you. You're a want. I don't even need you for that. Like what? I'm sorry. Like, oh, that was another thing. So you said that there are things that you are not doing, right? For me, I am not dating this winter. This is hobosexual season. And I don't even want to risk you disrupting my peace. So the shop is closed.
you
All
can
I'm
just
doing
don't invite them
until
over.
probably March, right? Because my birthday trip is already planned and everything like that. So you will not mess up the whole month of February. So probably March, I may venture out a little bit again into the dating streets. But yeah, for now, the shop is closed.
Why are you dating a couple of guys? What happened to them?
I fired them.
Both of
Yes.
them? Girl,
Because like I said, when you disrupt my peace, or when you don't treat me better than I could treat me, when you can't even equate to the wonderful time that I have with myself, why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? If it ain't fun, I'm not doing it. And that is
no, you
and
supposed to
that
say if
is
it ain't
a
fun,
privilege
I
that
don't
I
want
have.
none.
That's a
Yeah.
privilege that I have that some people don't, and I respect that, and gratitude for having choices. You know.
You supposed to say if it ain't fun, I don't want none. But I got you.
Right. And that's exactly right. So I wish them well, and I wish them the best in their endeavors. But it's not
Okay,
for me.
girl. Okay,
Hmm.
girl. I mean,
Yeah.
do you, girl? I ain't even mad. I mean, if they
But I
want,
will tell you, right, because we talked about it before when I was telling you I'm happily single and everything like that, and I'm happily single without a cat, right? Girl, why this lady tried to, well, she didn't try to, but the way she was talking about her cat, it sounds so cute and lovely. And I was like, this is how single women end up with cats, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Get out of here, Satan. I'm not getting no cat. You know what I'm saying? I like to vacation too much. And nobody in my family will watch a cat. Okay, so and I can't leave a cat in the house by itself. Plus, come to find out, they don't. Is it neuter kittens? And I can't be having you over here just. Oh hell no! So that me and my plants happy.
That you can get your cat
I don't want a
spayed and
cat. I
neutered.
changed my mind. And one of my best friends, she said, "Girl, you don't want no cat. That's responsibility." And I said, "Girl, you know me so well."
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you don't want to do it, I mean, I don't want to do it just because I don't want to do it. But I mean, I actually like cats from over there, other people's cats. I'm like, oh, look at that. I like,
See,
but you know
other
what it
people's
is?
cats and
I
other
don't
people's
really
kids.
care. I don't really care for cats. I rather, I rather have a kitten. If I can get a cat that can stay a
See, but a
kitten,
kitten grows up.
but that's what I'm saying. I need one that don't grow up
See, and I'm gonna
because
tell you,
they're
I
cute
thought
when
about
they're
this
little.
thing, right? Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go and adopt a kitten because when you adopt, they already spayed or neutered. I don't know. Y'all know the truth. I don't know which word. I think it's neutered, right? They already neutered when you go, right? Because that's just what they do. And she was like, oh no, a kitten can't be neutered. So you mean it
You
can
have
have
to take
babies?
you got to take it
No.
in later, girl. You just got to take it in later.
I'm okay.
But you know
It sounded cool.
when they do that to females, they just take their uteruses out. I was like, "What?" And then for the boys, they cut their balls off. I'm like,
But
"What?"
I don't want no boy cat because they be spraying. Ugh. Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
Well, then don't get it. Nobody's
Whatever
making you
was
do
a
it,
dream
Shonda.
is now a nightmare because after I talked to my friend, I was like, girl, you made that sound horrible. I'm not even
Nobody
doing it.
is making you do it though. Calm down. Nobody's making you
But
do
I
it.
was just telling you what had happened and how easy it is for, you to become a cat lady because they were like, oh, yeah, it's not a lot of responsibility. Oh, yeah, you have emotional support. Oh, yeah. They don't talk about the other stuff.
I mean, I'm gonna let them people live their best lives because I'm not gonna be able to do it. That cat ain't finna be bugging me something you forgot to feed me. I'm like, I ain't feed me either. We going to sleep. Go to sleep.
We should say we the
So,
same.
I
But the
mean,
other thing was, I can't imagine. What if it jump on the counter? Oh hell no! See, it's not for me. It's not for me. Like
oh
all
my
of that, just
God.
jeepers
Have you
creepers.
seen those cat videos? So the people will be like cooking soup. Like you like to cook soup, right? So the people be like cooking soup, and then the cat will come in from outside, be like, "Ooh, I found some meat in the yard." It'd be a rat in their mouth, and then they hop on the stove and put the rat in the soup. Ain't that the worst mess? Hello?
Oh my god! So you said they put the what?
The rat in the soup. Like they be like, "Here, I found some meat for the soup," and they put the rat in the soup. Like it's a voiceover. Girl, it's hilarious. Them cats be putting rats in the stew pots or whatever that's on the stove. I said, "I know
Oh
you
yeah, I
lying."
saw that because
I was
what
like,
didn't Quentin talk about that? Quentin talked about that on her show.
"Oh, I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it on the show," but I was just like, "I know
No,
you
she was on a
lying."
podcast and she was talking about she watched that cat video and the cat be setting up animals. I think he did that to a rabbit too. I was like, oh, Quinta, why is you watching this? This says volumes. Mm-mm.
Why would you intentionally get a rat and drop it in the soup? I would kill
Right,
that cat. Me and
right.
that cat would be put out that day. I would just put it right
Yeah,
on up out of
yeah.
there.
And they will bring you presents. They feel like, yeah. When I was a child, my German Shepherd brought me a squirrel and it did not have a tail on. And girl, I didn't see it when I went out there and I stepped on something squishy that should have been a hard brick sidewalk. And I looked down. Girl, I ain't never leapt so high. I would leap all the way over there. Ah! I was way over there, girl. I was so scared. So no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm
Trauma.
good.
It's
I'm
the
gonna let
trauma.
everybody have them pets. I'm gonna let them have it. I know
Yeah.
people, men like these dogs. Well, I don't know, but I'm gonna let y'all have them. If I ever
Yeah.
date a man with a
Yeah.
dog, that dog will need his own separate house, and he can go visit. He
Yeah.
can't live over here. It just
So
can't live
this
over
guy
here.
was saying that I think it was some guy online was saying that he was dating this girl, but he had to break things off because she didn't want to put the dog out of the bed with them. He was
See
like, "Why I gotta have a threesome with your dog?"
that part. That part. Exactly. Like I didn't sign up for that.
Right.
I mean, you can't never just because when you date pet people, especially dog people, because they have to walk their dogs and all this stuff, you can't even just go out
Hmm.
with your dude. He be like, let's
It's a
grab Scruffy.
whole lot.
No, Scruffy can stay in the
It's a
house because
whole lot.
now you're outside, you picking up poop. I'm like, ew, I just wanted to have a walk with you. This is so annoying. It's like too much going on. And then other dogs are
Girl, not even
barking.
that. First of all,
Too
they
much.
be letting the dog kiss them. And then you just gonna
And
kiss me with
some
that
people
same
do
mouth?
that. Some people do that too.
It's a
All of
no for
it.
me. It's a no
It's
for
an
me.
N and an
First
O
of
for me.
all, you got a whole carnivore in your house. It's a no for me. It's a no for
I,
me.
I'm good.
I just don't. Mm-mm.
I'm gonna let all
I'm
of these
okay.
people live their absolute best lives because not me said the flea, not I said the fly. No.
Right.
But anywho, y'all, reevaluate your second chapters, guys. Your third chapters,
Hmm.
whatever chapter this is, reevaluate it and make sure you live in your absolute, unequivocal best life. Do it. And even when people say don't do it, do it. And you could just be like, I ain't gonna
Right.
do it and do it anyway.
Do
Do it.
it anyway.
Because it's
Right.
your life and you the only one living it. And a lot of times people just be jealous or feel like they can't do it, so they don't want you to do
Hmm.
it or whatever the case may be. So if you want to do it, do it. My friends say they want to jump off the bridge. Girl, jump off that bridge, girl. I'm going to look and see you jump off of it. I ain't jumping off of it. But, do it.
Somebody got to live to tell a story.
I mean, I'm
That's what
here
we
to
do.
tell the story. Okay. And that's funny you said that because, I told you I went on a little girls trip with my Chicago friends. And so we were gonna get t-shirts and I was gonna be like, I'm just here to tell the story. Cause I'm the one who gonna like, let me tell you what happened. Yeah, officer. Let me tell you, first of all, nobody had tried to approach her because she feral. She feral and she gonna get you. Anyway, so I would just be the one to tell the story. But I ended up with a different shirt that say I warned y'all. Same difference. I'm like,
Oh
don't jump off
wow.
that bridge. There they go jumping. Well,
Right.
but yes, it's your life. Even you men out there who are listening, by all means, live your best life. And
Hmm.
if you want to be feral in these streets, be feral. Just be honest and
Right.
feral, okay? Just be honest. Just be
Right.
honest in these streets. Don't be lying to women. And women don't be lying to men because women be lying too.
Right.
Everybody just be in these streets and be
Hmm.
when I get myself back in these streets, I'm be like, look, I'm just trying to be a cougar. Um, we'll
I
see.
don't
Maybe,
know
maybe
about
not.
that, Venus. These people, like, have you
Maybe,
seen this generation? They don't even understand. Like, the sense ain't common.
maybe I.
So
Well, it
depending
ain't.
on how
It ain't.
young
It
you
ain't.
gonna go.
But like I told you in a previous episode, I'm not trying to fall in love with your mind. This is not like we
I'm
shouldn't
a
be having that.
sapiosexual. Like, you got to mentally
Dude,
stimulate
like
me.
I'm
Like,
gonna
it ain't gonna
look.
be no physical.
I'm gonna listen to some NPR right before. no, I'm
She
joking.
was like, I had enough stimulation. Let's just get to the act.
I mean, and I am generally, a sapiosexual for sure. However, if I am being sapioli attracted to somebody, I'm more than likely gonna like them and not just like them for sex.
Mm,
For sex, I could just like you enough for sex. But when you being a cougar, you have a specific goal. You're not really
mm.
trying to have a relationship with the people. Like even if you find you one young boy to do, He just gonna be your one young steady boy, and that's it. It's not like y'all gonna be over there
Uh,
talking about books and having book club. I'm not even cooking for you, bro. Bring your own box of cereal. I'm not doing any of that. Like you just gonna show up. We gonna do whatever we decided we was gonna do before you even got here, and then you gonna go
mm,
home because that's it.
sex just cannot be casual for me. Like, I'd
But
be like,
this is what
what did I let in my
foolerism,
body?
because that's why
That's
I said
like
get you
eating
one,
fast food.
get
No.
you one, and then I'm not
That
saying
don't
get you
mean just
several.
because you got you one, that don't mean you his only one.
That's
I don't
true, but
need that
you
energy,
could be.
little girl
You could
energy in
be
my
his
body.
only
She all
one.
confused about herself. I don't need that in me.
You could be his
Mm.
only one if you don't get a fine, sexy one. Just get you an ugly one.
Oh, I can't never do ugly. Why you think I'm single, girl? It's plenty of ugly out there. I can't do ugly. Hell
Girl,
no. You
get you
think I'm about
because
to let an ugly nigga lie to me? Oh my
because
god,
it
no.
won't matter when the lights out, girl. When the lights out, it don't matter when the lights out. Can't nobody see
Girl,
nobody in the
exactly
dark.
why you need to liberate yourself and learn how to get yourself there. Because no.
Girl, the hilarity. Girl, I'm in the house too much to even find me a young one. So, like I said, but we'll see if I ever do. Y'all will find out if I get back out in these dating streets. Y'all will find out because I'm gonna tell
Yes,
y'all.
you should do a
We gonna have
vlog of you and the dating streets.
a
That would be
whole
cute.
little series about this foolery. Because the last time I was in these dating streets, oh my god, and I was just like, not today, not
You was
tomorrow.
almost there. You attracted something real nice. He just wasn't ready.
Girl,
Hmm.
I am so GOOD. Okay, no, thank you. So, anyways, like I said, enjoy your second half, third half, do all the things,
Hmm.
no regrets, live life to the fullest. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And share with us some things that, you learned in your second half, some things that you implemented, your non-negotiables, your teachable moments, the turning points. We would love to hear from you guys. And yeah, subscribe and share and like.
Subscribe, like, yeah, subscribe, like, and share. Hey.
All of that.
See y'all next week. Well, next couple weeks. See y'all. Bye.
All right, bye.